I think I did made it clear that I don't think I have access to the information that he has revealed this evening. But what I can confirm to Nigerians is that the presidency has never at any point communicated to the commission to stay action on the investigation in respect of OK and others. I don't think there was any communication from the presidency in that respect. And I can say it for free that since the election of President Muhammad Buhari, he has never interfered in the work of the EFCC, as far as I know. This is the first time, perhaps in the history of this country, that we have a president who has allowed the anti-corruption agency to operate freely, unfettered, without interfering in daily affairs of the agency. Nobody directs us to investigate any particular individual, and nobody dictates to the EFCC. Whatever investigation activities that the EFCC embarks upon is purely informed by its management and staff of the agency. Nobody, no external influence comes into our affairs.
I think we have a fundamental problem. The fundamental problem that we have as a country is there are three arms of government that make up our democracy. We have a serious, we have systemic, endemic corruption problem. This society must call out the legislature and it must call out the judiciary. The idea that it is all about the executive and the president is not a good enough one. It's going to be addressing 1/3 of our problem. For the National Assembly, they need to tell us what they do with the humongous budget that they give to themselves. There must be transparency.
We have a former federal lawmaker. If he can give us some insights to confirming this or not. We have Mr. Wesley Dahosa from our Abuja studios. Do we still have Mr. Wesley Dahosa?
Yes, of course. I guess we do.
Yes.
You've been there before.
Yeah, I have to say. Yeah. Well, my position on that would be that the legislature is, of course, as you do know, is the youngest of the arms of government in this country. And of course, is the most pressured of all the arms. They have the easiest access to the public and have come under the biggest scrutiny since 1999. So I appreciate the fact that they have to work hard to increase their integrity and productivity. But the big problem is the selection criteria for getting people into the legislature. So once you do not get the right set of people into the legislature, it becomes difficult to train them. Trainability becomes very hard. And that's part of the problem that the legislature is facing. And they don't have the type of facility that the executive or the judiciary has, for example, the type of support staff that they have. And beyond that, there are so many, and that the focus is on them. So if a legislator earns X amount of money as quarterly allowance, of course, it's in the public domain in 1 minute. And that's part of the problem that they face, and that's why it is critical for them to respond to public reaction by adjusting their lifestyle and putting more impetus in budget concretization and policy initiations that will help the country.
Before we conclude this conversation and this segment, your thoughts generally about the issues of anti-corruption, the legislature. What exactly do you think we must do right now as a nation?
Well, I think Obi has raised a very important issue, which I support, that we need reforms, legislative reforms, then structural reforms, then, of course, tenacity of purpose. And then for deterrence, those who have been caught with their hands in the till, they don't need to cut their hands off, but we must be able to put them in jail and throw away the keys.
Thank you. Well, I guess we must really thank our guest on this panel, Toyosi Akerele Ogunsiji, social entrepreneur and social activist. Thank you for being on this panel. Professor Akin-Yobode, thank you so much. Dr. Obi Ezekwesili and Professor Odinkalu, thank you so much. From our Abuja studio, Mr. Wilson Wajeren, EFCC spokesperson, Honorable Wesley Dahosa, former member of the House of Representatives. But we'll take a moment, everyone. Boko Haram, herdsmen, farmer crisis, kidnapping, robbery, and other security challenges facing the nation will form our next line of discussion when we return from this break, everyone. Stay with us.
The moment you tell our leaders the truth, you are opposition. That is very wrong. And I hope we will help our leaders Because one of the most dangerous things that is happening in Nigeria is you don't tell the truth to leadership. I am beginning to think that psychophancy, hypocrisy, bootlicking is worse than corruption in Nigeria. Because when you tell them the truth, if everybody will tell the leaders the truth, it may change things. But today, when people are in government, even when they know that they are telling lies, people in their 60s and 70s are telling lies, and they give a damn to their consciences. And they know they are deceiving they are deceiving the leader. I mean, what kind of a country have we found? Is there no morality anymore? So for me, I want the security architecture and the fight against insurgency totally overhauled. And I want to wake up one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, and hear that Nigerians are not being killed mindlessly and ruthlessly in my country. I will be very happy if that happens.
You will agree with me that this matter, this security issue, has been on for such a long time in the country, and it was only when President Buhari came in that we even succeeded in, retrieving a number of local governments in some of the northeastern states from Boko Haram. Having done that, I think that the rest of it has been simply a question of managing the consequences of the earlier overrun, because they virtually overrun us. Some of them infiltrated the cities, and that aspect is one that can only be addressed by intelligence. And intelligence is not just about the military, it is about even the people themselves. If you see faces or strange faces in the community, you report the matter, and instantly security agencies will deal with it. The issue of herdsmen killings definitely has been quite embarrassing, not just to us, the citizens, but even the government itself. The mere fact that soldiers have been moved, in some cases, to quell it indicates that the government is prepared to go to any length to ensure that it doesn't fester. I don't think that the government has been so negligent. And don't forget, this country is so large, the land mass. You cannot take people to every village, every nook and cranny, security agents to every nook and cranny of the country just in order to secure, just so you can secure the place. We don't have enough troops. We don't have enough policemen. Recently, the president even gave approval for the recruitment of about 6,000, is it 10,000 or 10,000 policemen. From time to time, he has continued to do that. So it's not something that government has, sat back and said, let the problem continue. But it has tried as much as possible to address it. In the area, in Zamfara, for instance, you have they call them bandits. When you find things like that happening around the Benue region, people begin to look at it from religious point of view. But what about areas like Zamfara? Something is going on, and I believe that in the next few months or so, the government will actually be able to unravel the real cause of this, whether they are fifth columnists at work or something. But it may even have political undertones. And I don't think that any government can really, wipe out this menace overnight. What is important is that the government is working assiduously to eradicate it. And with God on our side, I think the problem will be put behind us once and for all.